Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now! Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Robert Jarosinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer Carrie Jarosinski and our very own critic in residence Tim Brayton, with Black Panther hitting theaters next week. And despite what you just said, Tim, about February, people are actually excited about a February movie. We wanted to share our top 5 anticipated spring movies.
The season's getting kicked off, and intriguingly, you said what I just said about February, which was not on the air, so no one has any idea what you're talking about.
No context, not needed. You hate February.
We don't know what I was saying about February.
Yeah, you said it sucked. You said February is the worst month of the year.
I stand by that.
Okay.
Like globally, not just in movies, like in life. Okay. If I could induce a coma for 28 days every year, I would.
I'm trying to think about what month I would skip. Yeah, I have no particular affinity to the wintry months.
Yeah, I mean, if not February, then January. But January at least has fun sales and New Year's Day and stuff like that.
The promise of new beginnings, and then you realize it's all the same.
Those 3 days you actually go to the gym all happen in January.
Well, I actually went to a movie theater. This won't be a movie that I talk about, but it was more of about an experience I wanted to share with you. And I was curious if you have ever experienced anything similar.
I have been to many movie theaters.
Oh, you've been to a movie? Okay.
I've been to movies.
All right, well, good. We can move on.
I've never been. Tell me.
No, so I'd wrapped up work early. I was traveling out of state, left Carrie with the kids as I tend to do, and was going to sneak in Phantom Thread. Had a night over, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out to the movie theater and catch Phantom Thread. It's an Oscar-nominated movie. One I should probably have some knowledge on, some context on. Go in, use my movie pass, sit down, ready to take in the movie, relax, and I realized I was pretty sure I had left some very important papers. Some signed papers.
Like 8x11s?
No, these were like contract agreements.
Like legal size?
Yeah, well, they're legal documents for the job.
The kind of thing that would get you fired.
That would get me fired fast if I left them somewhere where I shouldn't have. And I just
left
couldn't,
them by the Coke freestyle machine.
We won't say where I thought I left them. Needless to say, I did not leave them, but it ruined my entire. I thought 99% I did that, and I just could not. I wasn't paying attention to the movie, so I was curious if either of you have ever had a situation going into a movie where it just completely disrupted the experience. I feel like I have to rewatch Phantom Thread.
You do, because it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. You still gave it a Letterboxd rating.
I
so
did.
Now I feel like I can't trust
it's a half star, maybe shy, because I wasn't paying attention. I was just thinking about the papers.
All right. I've had that experience once, kind of, which was I went in to see the movie Talladega Nights, The Legend of Ricky Bobby, with a splitting migraine. And so the sound of joyous laughter was like the thing I least wanted to hear in the world. So hearing people laughing at a comedy really embittered me towards the film. And I've not rewatched it. I don't like those kinds of films generally, so I don't think I was missing much. But I do feel like when you go into a comedy and laughter is the thing you are least happy to hear, you're not giving it the benefit of the doubt. But ordinarily, no matter how bad of a mood I'm in, the movie can sort of knock me out of it.
Karen, you've ever been in a mood that took you out of the film?
90% of the time.
Other than sleep, I should say.
No, still 90%, yeah. It's very hard for me to get into movies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where Rob will be like, it'll be over, and Rob will be like, oh, can you believe what happened with such and such? And I'll think, I'm just nodding and I'm agreeing with you, but I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
May I raise a question?
Sure.
You are a movie podcaster.
It's a factual statement.
All right.
Okay.
But you don't like movies.
No, I like movies.
You just don't get into movies.
No, it's a lower percent than 90, but there are that's where I'm like, oh, when I say I love a movie, it's because I was gripped the entire movie. There's a lot of movies where I either fall asleep or I'm thinking about my grocery list. I'm thinking about some obnoxious thing our kids did earlier that day and how I yelled and I shouldn't have yelled and how I'm a bad mom. I think about all that stuff. And if a movie isn't really good, I start thinking about those other things.
All right.
So I feel you, Rob.
Well, thank you. Well,
Feel you in your paperwork.
Phantom Thread will. Thankfully, I did have my papers. And so Phantom Thread will need a rewatch. It will need a rewatch. It's not
It's
what
a
I'm,
good movie. It's really good.
and I would welcome rewatching it again. But it's not what I'm bringing to our worth mentioning segment. What is the worth mentioning segment of the movies we've seen since the last episode? Which are the ones we want to talk about most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them either way. Care what movies? How many movies did you see?
I think
since
2,
last
right?
episode?
Just the 2.
Why are you asking me?
I'm asking you because you should know.
I was out of town.
Okay. So I think I saw just the 2.
Okay.
I saw Molly's Game.
Nice.
Okay.
Right.
And then I also saw The Innocents, which was a Patreon request from Travis Neely.
Perfect. Yeah, save that one for me. I want to chat.
Okay, so then I'll talk about Molly's Game.
All right.
Have you guys seen this?
Yes. Yeah, it's a best screenplay nominee, if I'm not mistaken.
That's why I had to see it. Rob's like, you got to get through every single Oscar nominee
Major
movie.
categories. You got to get the major categories.
Every single one of them. If you have not both seen all 5 documentary short nominees by the time the Oscars roll around, I will not even speak to either.
I know you won't, which is why I'm going to do that, maybe. And so I saw Molly's Game. So it's from 2017, obviously. It's by Aaron Sorkin, writer and director.
Yep, directorial debut.
Done some other things. Oh, wait, debut.
He's written all kinds of stuff.
Okay, because I've heard of this guy before.
Yeah, he's like a major writer.
Okay.
Snappy dialogue guy.
Sure.
Snappy.
Really snappy.
Walk and talk.
So this is Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba. Weird introduction of Kevin Costner in this.
God.
Very
we can't talk
weird.
about it because it's at the end, but boy, there's a scene.
Which is the best part of the
So
movie,
it's
right?
funny.
It's the best part if you're watching it because it's bad.
I came home from my trip actually when Carrie was on that scene. She's like, I just got a couple more minutes left. It was on that scene. I was like, hey, you had told me like that was your least favorite part of the movie. And I said, Carrie, this is going to be your favorite part of the movie. And
It was a higher point.
It is. If you go to my 2017 in review blog post, I decreed that the worst moment in a film in 2017.
He was peeling back the onion, you know?
He was chopping the onion and say, look at this fucking onion I'm chopping.
eat the onion.
And then,
The onion.
like, spitting.
It
all
wasn't
over
like a
again.
cinematic masterpiece, but Michael Cera's in this too. So this is, I'm going to embarrass myself as if I don't already on the show all the time, but this is apparently based on a true story.
Apparently.
Which I didn't know. If I had gone in knowing this was based on a true story, I would think I would have notched it up more. I think I would have actually liked it more. So
you
I
didn't
went
know
in.
until I told you at the end.
Yeah, Rob's like, oh, isn't that weird? This is like, do you know who that poker player is? And I was like, I mean, it looks like Michael Cera. And Rob's like, no, I mean like in real life. And there was this aha moment. So for those of you who don't know, it's based on the true story of Molly Bloom, who's an Olympic class skier. She goes out and she loses. She hurts herself and she loses. And
She
so
doesn't lose. She, like, breaks her
she breaks her body,
Real
like her
bad.
back, really bad. And her dad, played by Kevin Costner, is a real D. And so she ends up coming out of that and is a little bit lost, can't figure out what to do. I think she's like 22 at the time or something like that. And she comes in and it turns into this high stakes poker game thing. And she starts running high stakes tables for like $250,000 a hand or something like that. Crazy. And it's buy-ins. Yeah.
Not a hand. That'd be a big bet.
She takes him down the river, you know?
Oh,
$250,000
Yeah.
for a hand, you're overpaying.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. So it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I think on Letterboxd I gave it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. I went in thinking though that it was going to be more Ocean's 11.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't.
Slightly Ocean's 11.
And I wanted that. And so it touched on it a couple times. Like they had like the little snappy movements. There were things in it that felt disjointed in the way it was shot. Like the tone shifted throughout it where it was like, it was a little bit Ocean's 11 and then it slipped back into like
what I wanted?
documentary
I
style.
wanted Aaron Sorkin movie. And Aaron Sorkin's like the worst director of Aaron Sorkin. Maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to think back through his catalog of the Aaron Sorkin
It's not that he's the
movies.
worst director of Aaron Sorkin. He's the most indulgent director of Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
And things that other directors... And by all accounts, as a screenwriter, he has a lot of power, so maybe I'm totally wrong. It feels like scenes that a good collaborator would have said, no, that scene doesn't work, ended up in the movie.
Yeah.
Frequently.
That's exactly how I felt in a weird way. I felt like there were scenes where Idris Elba and Jessica Chastain are amazing actors, respectively, and yet it felt very scripted and like we are talking.
Everything he's ever done. I mean, it's part of the appeal. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like just the pleasure of like the dialogue being super literate. Like it never sounds natural.
Yeah, it didn't at all. So I guess that was the drawback for me. It didn't feel like it was something I got totally sucked into, which is what I like. But otherwise, it was fun. It was entertaining. It was something that I wouldn't race to the theaters
I feel like
to
you have
see.
to know about poker. You have to know poker.
No,
I feel like taught me about poker.
Okay, taught you about poker. Okay, because I knew about poker. I know about poker.
Like to me, the thing that I liked about it more than anything was how much it was a procedural about hosting a poker game. I think that's what Sorkin's best at, is writing procedurals. Most famous, of course, for The West Wing. Some of his other TV work includes Sports Night. He wrote A Few Good Men, Social Network. I think all of his best stuff in some way hinges on people doing a complicated task, and I think that's the best part of Molly's Game for me.
Carrie mentioned the big Hollywood star who was prevalent at Molly Bloom's tables. Are you familiar with this? Do you know who that was?
I know who this is.
Okay, yeah, Tobey Maguire.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, very well known for his gambling.
So apparently he's not very nice in real life.
I feel like most actors aren't.
Oh, I think they are.
I think they're not.
What about John Krasinski?
I think John Krasinski's probably not. Look at that beard. No one with that beard is a nice man.
Oh, everybody with beard's nice.
I've got my beard back.
I know.
Thanks, man.
Is that what you're calling it?
That's right.
It's in.
See, I have a beard, and I just said something catty and mean
See?
because people with beards are mean.
I've heard that.
Right.
So that's what I saw.
How about you?
I had a light week. It's been kind of weirdly schedule wobbly, and I've been trying to get out to a theater, and it's just not been playing out.
Just
for
the
me.
12 then.
So just the 12. No, I only saw like 3 or 4 things, not very many. One of which, not going to be worth mentioning, the 13-hour Out One, which I mentioned last week. I'm going to be watching a lot of Jacques Rivette films. I got off to a grand old start with a very, very long film. But no, my worth mentioning, just because I think I want to get your guys' take on it more than anything, is a film that made quite a big splash at the Super Bowl, and then immediately everyone turned on it because it's bad. And that movie is The Cloverfield Paradox.
Yes.
The first movie to premiere the same day that it was announced, basically, which isn't quite true. We knew a third Cloverfield was coming.
You knew it was coming? I didn't know.
We knew it was coming. It was originally, back in 2012, a screenplay was written called The God Particle, got bought by J.J. Abrams' company. Very early in pre-production, they realized, hey, we can make this a Cloverfield movie. Did so, but it was bouncing around for a while. I think this was in 2016. It got announced as a Cloverfield tie-in. Paramount had access to it, and they moved the release date. It was supposed to release in January of this year. Then they got moved to March, and there were rumors that Paramount was going to sell it to Netflix, which of course came true. But we didn't know the title, and we didn't know that Netflix officially had it, and we certainly didn't know the release date until Netflix came out with a Super Bowl ad basically saying, hey, in 90 minutes you can go watch this movie.
How did you, Tim, you watch Super Bowl, Tim?
No.
How did you find out about this, that it was going on?
I happened to be on Twitter.
Okay.
I think that I had just finished watching Out One, actually. Right. And I was like, what's going on in the world? Shit, the new Cloverfield's out. That's unexpected. So as soon as
the Patriots lost. Oh.
You're kidding.
It's a
Weren't
thing.
they favored to win?
Yeah, after they deflated their balls.
Oh, yeah. So they lost to the 49ers?
Close.
Okay.
That's an NFC team. That's good.
It is.
All right, yeah,
I forget about that.
Opposite coast, but yeah, you're
the first time I've known more than Tim on a topic.
No, I know that they lost to
Pretend you don't know.
Carrie and I watched.
From somewhere else in New England.
We dabble in the sports.
We get into the Super Bowl, like mainly for the commercials, and
Mostly for the snacks.
We were preparing for the anticipated. We want to see the trailers.
Oh, sure.
Like a lot of trailers are coming out.
A lot of Pepsi ones.
And then boom, all of a sudden,
Cloverfield.
I was more excited at that moment.
A lot of people seem to have been more excited.
Cloverfield.
It was the trending topic.
Yeah.
It was more trending than the game for a brief period.
Like, do you give it to Netflix? Before we even talk about what the quality of the film itself. Was that a smart play on their end? Yeah, I mean, because ad buys are a couple $1 million for.
Oh, good lord!
I mean, they spent millions of dollars.
They spent millions of dollars, plus at least $50 million to acquire the rights from Paramount. I mean, yeah, obviously, I had a conversation after the ad aired, but before the movie started. So in that 92-hour window, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's also into film studies, who we agreed whether the movie's good or terrible. We're excited by the thing that just happened marketing wise. That's interesting to talk about. And I think it is. It clearly, Netflix made a huge splash. People watched the movie because it was a thing to do. They made it a media event.
I think they showed that can work and that they can get it. They can get asses in front of the screens.
Here's my concern. I think this is irrevocably poison to the Netflix brand because it's a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Everyone
Absolutely
agrees
is.
it's a shitty movie.
Well, and that's my question too. You do that. So when you're looking for your return on investment there, you've spent let's just call it $5 million.
Let's call it 50.
Let's call it $50 million. On top of what you paid to produce the movie.
Well, that's the thing. They paid $50 million for the rights to the movie plus whatever the Super Bowl
And
is.
because you have such you're at the paramount of social media right now. You're at the top of the line. Because of that too, it comes with the good and the bad. So the minute you were out there and the minute you were in the spotlight, the minute it was bad, people also knew that too. So you went out there and then the reviews start coming out and people find out and you can tell us more about it and what your thoughts were on it. But the minute something goes awry, it shuts down for people. No one's talking about it anymore. And are people racing out to see it? Maybe not.
No one knows how Netflix makes money. This is a conversation I've had with so many people. They make these things that cost a lot of money, like Bright. Bright cost $90 million. We know that. Did Bright cause $90 million worth of people who were not already subscribing to Netflix to subscribe to Netflix? I don't see how it possibly could have.
Right.
Now, I think the beautiful thing about Cloverfield is that it hits an audience of people who don't care about movies. The Super Bowl is a much bigger event than any movie in any year. And so people who don't ever think about Netflix or have never wanted to watch a movie see this ad and they're like, oh, cool, I could go do that. I'll bet it did make them a lot of money in new subscribers.
You think so? That's what I was going to say, because it's not moving the needle for me. Getting me to watch it doesn't help Netflix.
Like that's the thing. Getting you or I to do anything doesn't help Netflix. Because I'm not going to cancel it. I've got inertia going at this point. So they can add all the goddamn Jean-Luc Godard films they want. They're not going to get a penny out of me that they're not already going to get. So they're not going to add those Godard films. And that's the thing. Like Netflix's business model makes no sense. The concern, though, and I've seen this happen. Like, so a movie is coming out in a couple weeks called Mute, which is the new film by Duncan Jones, who directed Moon and Source Code. And also Warcraft.
I forgot about that.
But the other two are good, and it's going to be more like it. He's called it the spiritual sequel to Moon. He's been trying to get this film financed for like 10 years. And I've already seen conversations. It's premiering on Netflix. They paid for it. I've already seen people wondering, well, is Mute going to be good? And this is a movie people have been looking forward to for 8 years. And now there's like this doubt, like, what if Netflix is producing? Maybe it's going to be shit. And like, is that what Netflix has done to themselves with Cloverfield?
With one, though, they have all these other shows. They have Stranger Things. They have all these other things that are. Isn't Daredevil Netflix?
Oh yeah, all those
too?
Marvel things. Well, there's
Yeah.
there's a TV audience, but there's also a movie audience. And I think what they're trying to do, like it's their big 2018 project, they want to be for movies what they are for TV. Because they're it for TV, like that's already set.
Right.
But they're making like every new week is at least one new Netflix film. I mean, just the calendar of Netflix movie releases is huge. And I mean, the question is, if they're all going to be Cloverfield bad, does anyone care?
Right.
We haven't talked about the plot at all.
You haven't talked about Cloverfield.
shit.
Oh, the movie's not worth talking about. It's a bad
not.
movie.
I do have to say,
I liked the first half hour.
and I didn't even. You liked. I think I read I did read your review. You liked the opening. The opening.
It's
for
so
me,
unmemorable that you forgot that you read a review on your own site. That's how bad the movie is.
You like the opening.
I like the world building. I like the set. I like the sets.
No, the sets were.
I like the sets and I like the costumes.
The actors were doing the best they could.
It's a phenomenal cast.
Yeah.
We've got Lupita
Great.
Nyong'o, lots of other people.
Gugu Mbatha-Raw.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Not
that's-
Lupita.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. Thank you. We
No
got Gugu
worries.
Mbatha-Raw. We've got other people who are famous.
David Aiello, Daniel Bruhl, Chris O'Dowd.
Zhang Ji is in it.
Yes. All very great.
Yeah, every person in that cast is good.
And Mbatha-Raw, I've since Miss Sloane, which I think I tried to turn you both on to as a Jessica Chastain movie. She is.
I mean,
she's great.
I was into her since Belle.
Oh, look
And
at
also
you.
since Beyond the Lights, which is
Okay.
really good. By the way, everyone who hasn't seen Beyond the Lights should. It's wonderful.
So it's basically a TV sci-fi movie.
Yes. Here's the thing. I put in my review a clause comparing it to TV sci-fi and immediately felt bad about it because what I was really comparing it to was Battlestar Galactica, the 2000s reboot. But Battlestar Galactica is better in every way, including like production value.
Yeah.
Is it just because it had David Aiello?
Aiello. I mean, he's excellent. not in the movie, but he's an excellent actor.
What's not happening here is the fact that you guys are praising me for knowing that David is in that show.
What show?
He's in Battlestar Galactica.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Oh.
I thought you were using show as in like when Grandma's saying, "Are you gonna go to the show?" When they're referring
Who's the
to
main
movie.
guy in that in Battlestar Galactica?
Not Edward
David.
James Olmos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very similar.
Who is
Not
Mexican American
African-American,
and not Afro-British.
What about
Afro-British,
that
thank you.
piece? Just go ahead and clip that out.
But yeah, the synopsis for that, for those who are interested in just, I don't know.
It's about using this particle collider to go into another dimension, and there's be monsters in the other dimension, and they'll kill you.
Space and time ripped
And
open.
also Elizabeth
different
Debicki, who is like shady but hot but shady.
It's basically, it wants to be Event Horizon
It
so
wants
bad.
so bad to be Event Horizon.
But like maybe like with a little bit of humor.
It's
Chris
like-
O'Dowd is trying.
It's
or
like
Chris-
Event
yeah.
Horizon meets Sunshine meets like the worst part of whichever your least favorite alien film is.
Yes.
Four.
Oh, the arm scene and a little Evil Dead.
A Little Evil Dead. I feel like the movie Chris O'Dowd is acting in is the movie I want to watch, but he's the only person in that movie who's in that film, and I don't get it.
Everybody's way too serious in that movie.
It's a bad movie.
For what's happening.
And then it has a
do
really
not see it.
fucking terrible final
And-
shot.
Yes, which ties you all back.
Ties it all back. Ties it all back to Cloverfield V1.
And I guess
Very poorly.
what he's showing is what Abrams is J.J. Abrams is showing is, I mean, he was trying to create some sort of anthology out of all this. And
Oh, he still is. There's going to be a World War II set Cloverfield film coming out in the same calendar year.
But
no
for
less.
me, for Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, that aspect ruined the movie for me. This,
Right, absolutely.
And I would say that it didn't enhance this one.
It didn't enhance this one. It's weird. I think what they do to make this film a Cloverfield film is terrible, but it was already a bad film. What they do to make 10 Cloverfield Lane ruins it because it's a great movie if you don't know that it's about aliens, but of course you fucking know it's about aliens because it says Cloverfield in the title.
Right.
I didn't know that when I saw that.
I have thoughts about this.
We should talk more about the
very-
Cloverfield series.
I gotta calm down too. I'm upset about.
I haven't seen Cloverfield 1. I saw Cloverfield 2.
Cloverfield 2 is the only one of them worth bothering with.
That's the one with John Goodman,
Mostly
right?
because of John Goodman. He's excellent.
So good. And then I
One
fell
is
asleep in the last
fine.
one.
3 is just shit. 3 is shit.
If they can keep it going, I'd be surprised. But we saw, and I'll go on record right away in saying we saw a really good movie by one of our patrons, recommended to us, The Innocents in 1961. So this is my worth mentioning. Directed by Jack Clayton of
Yes.
the Great Gatsby, probably better. I guess he's known for The Innocents, but also known for Great Gatsby.
He's known for that. I think he might initially been a cinematographer.
Okay. Well, it shows.
Yeah.
In
Oh, yeah.
in this black
Oh,
and
yeah.
white
Oh,
feature. So already against it for Carrie and I, who were assigned this movie. Thank you, Travis Neely, for signing it. It's black and white.
That's not against it for me.
That's in the case of The Innocents. If that's against it,
No,
you're
not
bad.
because
Okay.
usually subtitles black and white. You've already kind of
Well,
No,
it's in
I'm
English.
fine with black and white.
It-
I
not
love
for
black
me.
and white.
I know that they sound like they're Brits, but it's still in English.
Yes, it was English. We were able to understand the governess who's caring for two children, who becomes convinced that the house and the grounds are haunted. I was scared.
It's a scary movie.
I was really scared.
scary.
And there aren't a lot of older movies that can really get me on the edge of my seat. Hitchcock is really probably the only one who comes to mind, is where I'm actually a little bit. I need to duck under the covers for
So
this
the
particular
first thing
film.
that leaps to mind is that I need to make you watch The Haunting at some point.
Okay.
It's
The
been
one with,
remade a bunch of times,
the remake?
but the original.
just once, and the remake is
By
the
a bunch
worst
I meant
movie of all
once.
time, and the original is the best movie of all time.
I didn't mind the remake.
with Taye Diggs. Is that the one you're going to make me see? The one with Taye Diggs?
Is he in that?
don't know.
For me, it's the one with Liam Neeson.
Okay. Oh, Liam Neeson. That's right. Oh,
I can see how you get Liam Neeson and Taye Diggs confused.
Very, very
Very
similar.
similar men.
but this one was the way that it was shot. It had like some sort of like round edge, like dim light around.
Like the blur.
It's those wonderful velvety blacks. Just like such a beautiful example of black and white cinematography.
But the two kids, super creepy.
Yep.
And so, however,
I literally have in my notes, 2 kids are super, super creepy.
yeah, I don't know how they.
So which is it? Are they super creepy or super creepy?
I'd go
It's
with the
the
double.
2. Yeah, it's the
All right.
double creep.
Yeah, they're just laughing all the time. Well,
Whistling?
So
the
they're-
whistling?
Oh my god, that opening credits song, which was written for the
gosh.
film, is like so perfect.
So perfectly creepy.
Exactly.
So
It's a horror movie. It's supposed to be
It is.
creepy.
Deborah Kerr, who plays the young governess, or Carr?
Carr.
Oh, sorry, Deborah Carr.
It's one of those things.
Takes a job by this gentleman who has these. They're not his kids.
They're
right?
his nephews.
They're
They're his nephew and niece.
Their parents have
He's
died.
Their uncle.
Yes, he's wealthy, aristocratic guy. Doesn't want to have to deal with the kids. He's like, go out to my estate where these kids are and take care of them.
Miles and
Uncle
Flora.
only appears in one scene, but played by a very prominent actor whose name evades me offhand. But
Is it no, it's is it Peter Wingard?
is it
Wingard?
I think Peter
It's
Wingard
Peter
is-
Wingard.
is-
No, that's the
Peter Wingard's
ghost.
the ghost.
You're right. It is the ghost.
So there's some creeps. I mean, it's a
guy.
scary house. It's a large property in the middle of the country, and there's a lot of spookiness that happens.
Yeah.
But it's really the not knowing the situation with the kids and what role they play in all of this.
I still don't know.
We will probably have to take this offline.
We have to
because
take it offline. Can we talk
I don't
afterwards?
know exactly what happens, particularly the ending is.
What happened in the ending?
Is a little.
Well, here's the
Don't
thing.
tell me.
Lot.
Don't tell me.
I just want to say one thing, and this
Okay.
is totally legit. Everyone knows this about this movie. Lots and lots and lots of films across history have tried to play the horror films, I should say, have tried to play the card where did it happen or was it all in her
Yes.
head? I cannot name any film that more flawlessly threads that needle of did any of this actually
Yes.
happen or is Deborah Carr just fucked up?
Yeah.
Like it is the perfect example of a movie that does that.
I have so many questions. So again, we watched this movie together and I loved it. I thought it was so good because it was so scary. But at the same time too, the way that this thing wraps up at the end, like Rob said, it's a scary, edge of your seat, haunting movie.
Yes, it is.
The way this wraps up, I was like, I have no idea what just happened. And I have no idea who is there a bad guy here? Is there somebody that's haunted? Who's lost their mind? I don't know. I could not classify who had lost their mind in this, kid, caretaker, or anybody. And then it just ends. And so you're left with like this what happened feeling that I still haven't resolved with myself.
I get it.
Do you know the answer?
There are no answers by design.
Damn it.
I will
want
say
clear answers.
It's based on The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, who
Yeah.
very important, like real novelist. Not I shouldn't say that. That's horrible of me. Like he's not a genre writer. He's like an actual like literary author. And one of the things he placed into the film, which was then amplified, or placed into the book, which was then very strongly amplified by Truman Capote, who wrote the screenplay, was sex. And I will say, without going into it, because we don't want to spoil things, one of the standard readings of the film is that the governess, played by Deborah Carr, has a very unhealthy sexual repression derived from being a woman in Victorian England.
Okay.
And much of what happens is her being tormented by her feelings of sexual ardor.
I did not gather any of that.
She wants to have sex with the little boy.
Yeah.
But why?
Well, wouldn't you?
But so here was my thing. I thought she kind of was into the little guy because I thought that maybe one of the ghosts was in the little boy.
The ghost is maybe inhabiting the.
Is he?
Is he?
I don't know.
Is he?
Yeah.
This is the
I don't
question.
know.
Is he?
I have so many questions.
This is a good one if you've ever been reluctant checking out some an older flick, but you're into horror movies. Please give the
Please
Innocents,
try it, yeah.
the
It's a
Innocents a chance. If you haven't.
1961, The Innocents.
And the actor whose name I could not place is Michael Redgrave of the enormously prominent Redgrave
the Redgrave
family.
Vanessa?
Yeah. And all them. So
Okay.
hugely embarrassing that I couldn't remember Michael Redgrave.
I'm so
I'm
embarrassed,
embarrassed for you.
I feel like by the end of the break, you need to find a new film.
Yeah,
podcast
we
for
will.
this
I'm
podcast.
texting people right now.
Well, before you give up on us, remember you can find more details about all the movies we've watched at our website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. If you want access to exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, you can do it all from our Patreon page, much like Aaron, who is celebrating their 1-year anniversary as a Patreon with us.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Thanks.
Also, I want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com. Click on our Amazon banner and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. This week, a little modest on the purchases, but
All right, let's see.
it was quality, not
Okay.
quantity. Well, it was quantity in the dollar amount for sure.
Okay, just go with the list.
Handbags.
Someone
and shoes.
bought a car.
Someone bought a
Is it a
car.
car?
Thank you.
Oh, that
We
would
had
be so
some
nice.
men's Columbia, if you know the brand, very nice high-end brand.
Yes.
I have heard
some
of it.
waterproof hiking boots.
This is the continuing
The
the
continuation
camping trend.
of the camping trip.
So they went
you, Jason
camping
Stewart.
and they realized they didn't have boots. So
Like-
they ordered boots to where they were camping.
yeah, prime it. They'll go to the Tetons. Little callback.
It's a callback to a prior episode.
It's good pull.
To prior prison.
We also had a tablet gooseneck universal mounts. Oh, this is you, Care. This is for the uncomfortable. The
Oh,
things
yeah, these are the things that we were
Thanks
recording.
for purchasing, Care.
yeah.
See, when I purchase stuff, it doesn't show up.
Do a better job.
When I bought the
Click
Friday
on
the
banner.
13th,
Banner.
8 films said it never showed up.
I don't know what you're doing wrong.
I don't know.
Are you
Well, I
clicking
mean,
on the
I
banner?
bought the Friday the 13th films. That was clearly the wrong thing to do in the first place.
Yeah.
I clicked the banner,
We'll show you how to do it later.
but
Tim.
I know how
It's
to
like
use
a
the
little
internet.
banner on our website that you own, and you click through
The
that.
problem is, well, it's technical. I'm not gonna. It's boring.
Okay, I can imagine that. Keep going, Rob.
Well, that's it. Thank you guys
Okay,
for all
nice.
your purchases. When we get back, our top 5 anticipated movies of spring 2018. And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about our top 5 anticipated spring movies of 2018. That's a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
It is.
Yes. Care, what is a spring movie to you?
Pre-May.
That was fast.
That's all. It's
Just
it's
pre-May?
factual.
Could
Yeah.
be, could be December. Could be the year
Yeah.
before.
No, it could be. No, sorry. All right.
Bookend it for me.
January to May.
January to May is a spring movie.
Yep. Right?
You just arbitrarily decided that?
It's actually, so if I'm actually thinking about what I did, it's actually anything that I hadn't already come out before I was doing prep for this episode till May.
So are you going to bring back movies that you're
I won't bring
anticipating that
back-
are already out?
No, that's what
That's
you just
what you
said.
said.
When she started doing
It's very
prep
clear
like
on my
20 minutes
criteria.
ago.
Oh,
'cause
so
we watched her doing prep.
so has a movie come out? Has a movie come out in the last 20 minutes that we have to be worried about? That's going to
Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, that's true.
Could be. You never know.
Okay.
But then through the end of May. Or
Okay.
sorry. No, through before the end of April.
Tim, spring movie to you, and I know like
Precisely the same as Carrie's.
you're going. Oh,
Like,
really?
Like today through not the Avengers.
I was not expecting this from you, Tim.
What else could you? How else could you conceivably define it?
When do
We're
we
about
not
to find
ever
out.
agree?
How do you define a spring movie?
Why is it so
The
different?
same
Rob?
way.
All right.
Really?
What else would
Yes.
it possibly be?
This
Like
has
the
never
Avengers is a
happened.
summer movie.
Well, no, okay,
We all
well-
know that. So that's our terminus ad quem. Is
Yes.
the Avengers.
So I went Avengers as my whatever Latin thing.
When
you
does
just
Avengers
said.
come out?
May,
May- first Friday in May.
Oh,
in
okay.
And for me, a season is 3 months long. So I just went back 3 months, which is February, and I was like,
I mean,
all right, so anything
the
in
thing
play February through May.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
good
for
to
me,
go.
first quarter is a movie period. There's first quarter. I would say the movie season is really, it's 4 months, 1 month, 3 month. You have the first quarter, or first third rather, so January through April. You have May through August. You have September, which is just a fucking little sad, dead puppy dog of a month. And then you have Oscar season. And to
Right.
me, those are the seasons.
Okay. So are those like defined? Is this just you? Is this
That's
like a defined
it's sort
thing?
of like based on box office trends.
Okay.
Like the big tentpoles will come out in summer, those 4 months.
Yep.
Really just the first 3 of those 4 months. And then October is where you start seeing stuff that's getting an Oscar push.
Yep.
September is where you see the stuff that isn't good enough to get an Oscar push.
So what's January?
January.
Just a shithole?
January is a shithole.
Okay.
In part because January is a shithole, so who wants to go out to the movies? In terms of like the marketplace, it's basically the stuff that was like Oscar-y getting released into theaters where people who don't live in New York can see it.
So I had actually prepared 2 lists, one that started more in March and still ended in May. But I was kind of gonna gauge where you
No,
guys
I mean,
landed,
like if
because
we're-
February just seems too early to call it a
February
spring
does,
movie.
but I mean, where else you're not going to make like 7 most anticipated lists for the year, and what else are you going to put the February films?
And
The
it's-
February films go with the March.
And
films.
it's one of the last couple. I can't remember when Logan came out. I should know this.
It was
offhand.
early.
Was it?
It was
February,
March.
Or was it March?
First
But
weekend in March.
This is one of the first Februarys where it's like I'm looking at I didn't want to leave out some February movies. So
Really?
maybe I left some in. I don't know.
Interesting.
We'll see.
That means you have poor taste.
so
but
you're looking forward to Samson, is what I'm hearing.
Samson. Yeah.
you're looking forward to 50 Shades of Grey, Freed.
Technically, that's
out.
opened. That's
That's out.
opened.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If that's on your
Doesn't
list, I'm
count.
going to call shenanigans.
I haven't
I
seen the
care.
first two.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, I thought you
We're
had.
saving it for you,
I
Kim.
only
We want to do a marathon
read-
with you.
Okay, well, do
Sexy
it
novels.
because I'm
I
planning
don't
on seeing
watch
it
them.
like on Monday.
Okay, tell me how it is. So I'm going to start off with my number 1,
right.
number 5.
Number 5.
I guess
Whoa.
it's technically number 5. And things are going to get crazy because it's on your guys' list. And it's coming out on February 16th. And it's
Oh, shit.
Black Panther.
You just took my number 2, man.
2? It's really 2 for
Yes.
you?
Look
That
at the
seems
buzz.
high.
Look at the buzz.
That
it's
seems
getting.
high
It's a
because I
Marvel
actually watched
movie.
the trailer and I was like, this actually seems a little bit boring. But because it's a Marvel movie, I was like, I know I'm going to like it some. Which is why it
Ironically,
made...
because it's a Marvel movie, I was like, nope, not going on the list.
Not good. I won't see this.
Thor Ragnarok will be the last time I put a Marvel movie on one of these lists.
Oh, you gotta put this on there though. I think it's gonna be good. So it's
I hope it's going to be good. Ryan
was
Coogler's
Creed
good.
any good?
Creed's excellent.
Yeah,
So
Creed's good.
the
It's a
guy
fucking
that
masterpiece.
directed and wrote this is from Creed.
Ryan Coogler,
Exactly.
really good man.
So-
Also did Fruitvale Station, excellent movie.
Makes it promising.
I did just see something that makes me want to retract a little bit. I thought maybe I had made a mistake, but it says the movie is 2 hours and 14 minutes.
The movie is 2 hours and 14 minutes.
that may,
But
that
there's
made
those
me rethink.
outtakes that they have. You know?
Maybe it's 14 minutes of like funny outtakes.
Could
Yes.
be. Could be.
I don't get a
Apparently,
comic.
it is the least funny Marvel.
I was going to
film since
say
Captain America.
It does not have a lot of comedy
Which is the
vibe
one,
in it.
It's the one thing that might make me like it.
Yeah.
And I feel as you're saying not.
Well, I'm just saying that it doesn't. The trailers don't seem to evoke any type of humor in it whatsoever. It's a very serious movie.
But I don't think the trailer gives away a ton like they sometimes do. I didn't think the trailer
No,
I
not
saw,
a- not a-
I
not a
felt like it
whisper.
wasn't, yeah. So what it tells us is that what we do know is this takes place after the events of Captain America Civil War. And then King T'Challa returns to the reclusive African nation of Wakanda. And is this a spoiler to say that Black Panther is also T'Challa?
No.
Or is also T'Challa?
That is a thing that we know as of, like, that's his arc in Civil War.
Okay. And so that they're the same person who's played by Chadwick Boseman.
Who's
And
a very, very good actor.
I don't actually know, but you're right. He could be very good.
He got into a weird rut where he was playing like all of the most historically significant African Americans of the 21st century.
Really?
Whether or not he was suited for them, but he always was good even if it was bad casting.
Right. The other thing that you're going to get really excited about is that Michael Jordan is in this movie.
Yeah,
Very, very excited.
You're gonna be disappointed if you don't see a lot of basketball being played. 'Cause this is the Michael B. Jordan of Creed.
Still
Mission Creed.
unknown. I'm going to wait till I see the episode or wait till I see the movie to find out. But it could be said Michael Jordan is in this movie.
Could not be.
You never know.
Also.
He could play baseball.
Some good
and
sarcastic.
Well, can he play baseball? I think this is, as the movie
opinion.
Space Jam asks us,
It's
in
up for
fact,
debate.
can he play baseball?
So TBD. But then he comes back and he comes back to the place where he lives and finds out that they're trying to overthrow his throne. And so in comes Black Panther, who's also the king, and he takes everybody down, is the implication.
Yes.
Interesting. Yes, interesting plot synopsis.
Is that how you interpret it? Differently?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're close enough. You're
Okay.
good. You're
okay.
good.
I'm just excited because I really do love most Marvel movies. I can't imagine that I won't like this, and I'm just really hoping, I guess, that it's really good.
Tim, earlier you were talking about world building. Wakanda looks
Wakanda looks
awesome.
very cool.
Yeah.
Fun thing, we'll talk about this more after we've all seen the movie, I'm sure. This is the first ever big budget film to draw on, style's not the word, an aesthetic orientation, maybe, called Afrofuturism, which, I mean, we could just define it as saying it's the thing that Black Panther is. It's like this idea that African nations, in a sort of sci-fi context where what if the technologies that we associate with white America were instead accessible to Africa and Africans, which it's a really, really cool branch of sci-fi and has never been filmed ever, largely because it would require a huge budget, and historically movies with black leads don't get huge budgets. This is really kind of the first one ever, sort of ish. So that's the thing I'm looking forward to for sure, is the world building.
But just not quite to the top 5 level for you, huh?
I will never put another Marvel film on one of my top 5s.
All right.
Ever.
Not even Lupita Nyong'o, Danielle Coulier from Get Out, Angela Bassett, little Martin Freeman.
It's got to, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure it's probably going to be the best Marvel movie in some time, but I'm out
of principle.
Out of principle. I mean, just fuck Marvel. That's basically where I'm at right now, is fuck Marvel.
Audience members Brigda CRD and Jeremy Carrier also had Black Panther on their list as well. All right, Tim. So it's number 5 to you.
Number 5 to me. So mine is the first of many, many films that open in March for me. Not because I took spring overly literal, it just sort of worked out that way. So this is going to be a film currently scheduled for March 23rd. This is Steven Soderbergh's second post-retirement film, Unsane.
That looked good to you, huh?
The
trailer looked good?
No, the trailer looked awful.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
And Steven Soderbergh,
there are 4 movies I'm looking forward to this spring, but we're doing a top 5. This is a Steven Soderbergh horror movie. Okay, that sounds like a good deal. The trailer looks bad. The trailer looks like he shot it on an iPhone because, spoiler alert, he shot it on a fucking iPhone.
Oh, did he really?
He shot it on iPhone.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because it
looks like it was shot on iPhone.
It looked like it was shot on iPhone.
It looks like it was shot on iPhone.
So I was curious because he's known for his cinematography.
He's known for films that look not like they were shot on fucking iPhones.
Is he trying to prove something?
I think he must be.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, I think it might not be good. I hope it's good. It's a Steven Soderbergh psychological horror film.
You come across this, Karen, in your research?
That's all I know.
Unsane?
No.
It's Soderbergh. He made Logan Lucky, I liked. He's made lots of movies I loved. Che, he made in 2008, 2-part film about Che Guevara.
So what makes your number 5, though? What's awesome about this movie?
Soderbergh is a man I trust.
Okay.
For me, Soderbergh is to me as MCU is to you. It's like, well, I got to put a Soderbergh film on my top 5.
I don't even know who MCU is.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, I like that.
So this is Ocean's 11 director.
Okay.
But as I was saying
okay.
before I was cut off rudely. No, Che 2008 was one of the first movies that used digital cinematography at all in a way that looked beautiful, like flat out. Oh my God, that's a beautiful movie. So fingers crossed that he can do something with an iPhone because he's really good. But the trailer looks bad.
Yeah.
But
if you could teach me how to FaceTime properly, I'd appreciate that.
I needed a 5th one, and this was the 5th
This
one.
so it's just filling a
You could have Black Panther.
Now the thing is, I just needed a 5th one for winter, and it was Killing of a Sacred Deer, which was my favorite film on my list. So maybe I'll be lucky.
The plot, I mean, it seems like a decent plot.
I have no idea what the plot is.
Oh,
it's like
so
it involves like a psychiatric institution.
Business, like
woman gets like imprisoned wrongly, but like we've seen that movie a billion times,
Yeah.
so there's got to be more to it.
Yeah, she's held in an insane asylum against her will, or a psychiatric ward.
You'll have that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not on your list, though?
Not on my list. I think there'll be some disappointment with my list from Tim on this one, but I gotta say this one looks really fun.
All right,
it's
what
a
is it?
February release, so
Let's see. Gotta watch.
That is not Black Panther.
Not Black
So
Panther.
that already limits
I
it
don't have any other
to a few.
febs.
This one looks fun because, Kara, I could see you and I getting into this.
Okay.
This is Game Night.
I didn't see this.
You didn't see Game Night?
No.
How did you not see Game Night?
Because she didn't start writing her list until
With
about
a little-
5 minutes before we
I
started.
did.
With a little Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams.
I didn't see this.
So there are a couple who have a regular rotating game night,
Obviously.
and they like up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
So they now they're doing more of like a real life murder mystery dinner or murder
Okay.
mystery night with a friend.
I love those.
But perhaps it actually turns out that this murder mystery is not, in fact, a
Somebody
game.
It
dies.
seems the host, in fact, has gotten in with some wrong people, so he's abducted, but they all think, the game's already
my
started, but he's actually been
gosh.
picked up by the mob.
That sounds so good.
I mean, it's paint by numbers for the most part, but it gets laughs out of me, and it's mainly because I'm at
love
that
Jason
particular
Bateman.
age. I like Jason Bateman. Rachel McAdams is cute in it.
The thing for me that makes me think this might be a good film, the solitary thing. I think Bateman's got some good timing. The thing where he's wiping the blood off the dog is funny in the trailer. There's a line in the trailer where Rachel McAdams sees one of the bad guys get sucked into a jet engine. It's like the button at the end of the trailer. And she gets really excited, and then she says, "Ooh, he died." And like there's just like something about the way she delivers the line, clearly an example of an actor like deciding the way the line was written, fuck it, and just going for it. I think Rachel McAdams is going to be really good in it.
Okay.
That's what I'll give you.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any?
I want to see that now.
Like John Francis Daley, I think he's a funny writer, director-wise.
What else has he written?
That's a good question.
You tell us, Tim.
I thought
I've never heard of this man.
Oh, he's known for being an actor. He's the kind of geeky looking.
You just said he's a good writer.
Shit. Hold on, give me a sec.
You're flailing.
I'm flailing.
You're flailing.
He directed Vacation.
Oh, that's right. This is by the co-directors of Vacation.
That's right. It's a co-directing group.
Oh,
John Francis.
Robert.
Hold on. Buy me some time.
No, I don't.
So
know if
Rachel
I want
McAdams is
you to
also
live
a
as an
lesbian.
actor.
He was an
Did
actor
you-
in Bones.
did you also see
No,
that-
you did not. It's not lesbian.
No, she's going to be a lesbian
He wrote Spider-Man.
in another movie.
In another movie, which I've seen
with
something-
Rachel Weisz. Or no, not
Yeah.
Rachel Weisz. No. Is it Rachel Weisz?
It's Rachel Weisz.
Yes,
It's my two favorite Rachels in the same movie, like kissing each other.
Did you put that on this?
I don't think that's opening with spring, is it?
It is.
Okay, well then I would have. But
I
didn't.
know.
Damn it.
I thought so, but it looked sad.
So John Francis Daley wrote The Incredible Burt Wonderstone,
Oh.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
Oh, that was a good
Both
one. Yeah,
horrible
sure.
bosses.
Oh.
Also wrote Vacation and
Oh.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh.
Screenplay by.
You like that more than both of
Oh.
us, so.
So he's.
I liked that equally. To be
Yeah,
Equally
I think we liked it
terrible,
about the
yeah.
same. But I find him funny at times. This movie, just because it's game night,
It sounds good.
It sounds promising as a number. It's a solid number 5 pick for what we have to work with.
Okay.
is what I'm going with.
So what you're telling us is that spring is a terrible time for movies, and this was a misbegotten topic.
I think after my number 3, I get really excited. Is where I'm at.
So
I'm a little
only
bit like
2/5 of your
I'm
list
a
are
little bit
bad.
like you, Tim.
No, I mean, like, I was super excited about Unsane. It was my number 2 until the trailer dropped, and then I was like, oh shit, this looks bad.
This is really bad.
It looks pretty bad.
So I didn't drop it off the top 5. I just pushed it all the way to the bottom.
Number 4, do you care?
Number 4 is where things get real exciting for me because it's a remake time, and it's a remake that's so overdue or so over.
Oh my God, no way.
God,
Bored.
this is on your list.
Oh, it's so
Overboard.
I didn't even bother looking at the trailer.
April 13th.
I saw the trailer
and it looks
in a
so
movie
funny.
house,
It looks so funny.
and I was sad because one of these days Anna Faris is going to make a movie that doesn't just boil the hairs right off your balls.
But this literally could. So all of
Do you
the
feel
balls,
like this is why
all
Chris-
of the
Chris
hairs on
Pratt-
my balls are still in place. I feel like this was really, really. The trailer was really funny.
Do you feel like this is why they broke up?
Probably.
And I'd be like, Chris Pratt's like.
if I was Chris Pratt, I'd
"Anna,
be
too
like,
far.
back off.
Too far.
Real
You're
talk,
no Goldie
I
Hawn.
think they broke up because she didn't like him skinny.
She mentioned that. Yeah.
She's talked about how she loved him fat.
Oh.
And frankly, he was cute or fat.
Yeah.
He
He's
was
a
cute or
generic
fat,
looking
yeah.
hunk, but he was cute fat.
Yep.
I like him actually both ways, but I think if you have a problem with the way that your spouse looks weight-wise, then you have bigger problems.
So you're saying that Anna Faris is a feeder and should feel bad about herself.
I mean, I don't want to throw it out there, but he is quite
so
the catch.
you did not see the trailer for Game Night, clearly.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But the way you're
To be fair,
describing it, I would have liked
I
it.
did not see the trailer for Overboard.
The
so
trailer
I
for
have seen
Overboard
both
is-
trailers
Which one looks better?
simultaneously in front of Forever My Girl.
Which one looks better?
And pick one, Tim.
Game
Choose
night.
wisely.
No!
Sorry, Overboard looks bad.
So no, it doesn't, and I'll tell you why. So everybody needs a remake of the 1987's
No, we don't.
Overboard. Yeah, you do. You do. So Anna Faris is in this, Eva Longoria, which makes it sound a little bit sleazy, but it's not. And then Eugenio Derbez is in this as well.
He is a prominent.
the-
Is he Mexican or is he from somewhere else in Central America?
Mexican.
He's Mexican
For
okay.
sure. And
He's a prominent comic actor. He was in a movie called Instructions Not Included, which was, I think, the first Mexican production not released in English to make the top 10 in the United States.
I'm really thankful for you. I don't know how you know
No
that
notes.
without
No
any
notes for
notes.
Tim.
Because I made a point of saying it because I was like, holy shit, that's an achievement. right
You
there.
should be.
a very
So,
good movie.
as everybody knows, if you've already not seen this movie, the original was the amazing 1987 version. This is a spoiled, wealthy yacht owner is thrown overboard and becomes the target of a revenge plot from a mistreated employee. So Anna Faris is like a caretaker on the boat, and Eugenio is a jerk, but he falls over and gets amnesia. I know it sounds really cheesy the way I'm describing it. I get that, but
No, run with it. Run with it. I want to see how deep you get this hole. And I want to look down and say, tell me again, it's a good movie.
I loved Overboard, the original.
I've never seen it.
Wait, so this is...
It is so good.
It's flip-flopped? It's the man is the
Yes.
one?
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
You could not conceivably make a film with the original gender roles in this.
Yes.
Could. You know what? I have a way to make this movie better. You get Kate Hudson to play her mom's role.
You could.
in this, and
You could have done
would've
That's
that.
been-
the
that would've been nice.
single way you can make
That
it
would be
work.
sweet.
But the trailer in this actually looked hilarious and looked awesome and looked so fun. And actually, Anna Faris is really fun and ridiculous. And so I was like, you know what? I got to see this. It's going to be good.
I love her. I always want her to be in better movies. I think she's a great comedian.
yeah.
Agree.
She's a great female
I agree.
comedic actor. And
Yeah,
so
she needs better opportunities.
Yeah.
Than Overboard.
So we'll see. Shut up. All right. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is going to be on Rob's list.
All
I have
right.
virtually no doubt that this
I already
is-
said Black Panther.
Damn it. No, my number 4 is the only film I have coming out in a month that is not March. It is coming out on the 23rd of February, and it is Alex Garland's Annihilation.
It is indeed.
What is
Yes,
this one
number
about?
3.
I've never
Number
heard of
3
it.
for me.
It is about...
What research did
your
you do?
research was
just really-
flimsy. Your
Really
research did not even include of looking at a blog post on a site you co-operate where I talked about the films coming out. in
I
February.
only look for sites that are like credible and like
I get that.
worthy
That
of my
totally
reading.
seems
yeah.
legitimate.
Yeah. Tell me
So
more.
Annihilation is the story of how Natalie Portman is some manner of scientist, not quite clear from what we've seen, who is assigned to go into this... We're not quite clear what it is. It's some sort of thing. It's like a shimmery, shiny alien thing that has taken up space in the countryside. You walk through it and you appear to be in a different place. And it's beautiful and it's magical and it's full of interesting, who knows what kind of flora and fauna. Also full of monsters.
Okay.
And they kill you.
Is this like Arrival? Only they don't kill you.
It's unclear what this is. So one of the things that's very cool to me about this movie, I don't really know what it's about. It's based on a book that people seem to love, so that's a good thing. Directed by Alex Garland, who has, I think, a very strong track record as a screenwriter. Not flawless. He's written some flinkers, but he directed Ex Machina, which is, I mean, you tell me the
You love
director of
that.
Ex
It's
Machina
good.
has a second film. I'm like, totally. I will see that. The trailer has done everything it can to make this look like a clone of Aliens, and apparently, so getting back to that, so what does Netflix tell us about movies? Everywhere in the world that isn't the United States is getting this movie on Netflix. Oh. And a lot of people were saying, oh my God, does this mean that it's just another Cloverfield Paradox is going to look really good and then it's going to be this shitty, stupid sci-fi movie? Paramount sold it because they thought it was so brainy and thoughtful and like interested in ideas that they could not imagine how to sell it.
I'm in.
I'm
even
in.
more.
This is all I need. This is all I need.
This is on your list.
Oh yeah,
This is number 3.
Number 3. Number 3.
Again, all I need to know is Alex
Ultimately,
Garland.
Say
all
the
I need to
title
know
again.
is
What's the title?
Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Natalie Portman, Oscar
And
Isaac.
it looks
Sure.
like it's a frontrunner for this film's movie that spent far more on its visual effects than it will ever manage to get back out. It looks beautiful.
So
from
the date,
trailer.
you believe the date is driven by the fact that nobody knows how to market this movie.
I don't believe we more or less have confirmation from Paramount on this point.
Okay, well, I feel good. I
feel good.
very
I
good
feel
about
good about
this. This
this.
one's going to hold up, I bet.
Do you have any? I mean, I talked about it. Do you have any thoughts, Rob?
No, it's everything you said. I mean, I like the all female. It takes more of a female all female kind of ensemble
Natalie
cast.
Portman is the
And I
is
wonder
the
if
lead.
that plays into it. Is there's probably, and I'm curious if that's going to have something to do with the plot at some point. Is because her
she's looking for her husband.
She's looking for her husband, who's a army person or some sort of military person who's gone through this dome like barrier into this other world that's on Earth, and it's expanding. That's why they need to figure out what the hell this is, because at the rate that it's expanding, it's going to take over the world.
Be crazy, yeah.
At some point, but yeah, people have gone in. No one's come out except her
Whoever,
husband,
yeah.
who's now comatose, and so she has to go in to try to figure out what happened to
It's
him.
either going to be really good or really cheesy.
No, it's not going to be cheesy.
No, I mean that's the thing. This is either going to be one of my favorite films of the year, or so bad that I never want to speak about
Yeah.
it again after the 24th.
Yeah.
Does
Only
the
possible.
does
I
the
think the
Ex
latter.
Machina director
It
Oscar
sells me a
Isaac,
little
Natalie
bit more.
Portman,
When you're saying that, it sells
you did
me a
not
little
come
bit more.
across this.
No, I for sure did, but I was like, Overboard? for sure. Slightly higher.
I get the logic there.
Yeah.
All right.
I get the logic
Number
there.
3 to you then, Care.
Here's where things get really good on my end. So this is a movie about my life. So there's this woman who takes on the care of like motherhood and all of her children and like the dregs of motherhood alone because she's sleepless and she's tired because she's like, I have to do everything. And I was like, oh gosh, I can totally empathize with the situation, like the monotony of like being like everything for your children. And so that's why I chose this one, because I felt empathy, and that's why I chose.
Oh, frozen pizza tonight, Care?
Really? Hey, well, we did have frozen pizza actually.
I did have pizza.
But normally we have salad, fresh made salad.
You have delivery pizza.
We normally have delivery pizza. This is why I chose Tully. And this releases on April 20th. And I have no idea what to expect from this movie. Is it on either of your lists?
It was a contender.
It is
Diablo
not
Cody, Jason
even
Reitman.
Slightly on my list.
Is it because you don't empathize with the mother of 3 named Marlo?
I don't believe that women should be permitted to write movies.
Oh,
That's not
I knew
true.
that
That's
about
not
you.
true.
I knew that about you.
I think the Jason Reitman batting average is low.
Okay.
SL.
Writer
started
Diablo
strong.
Cody?
Kind of.
So yeah, what are your feelings on Juno? Because it's a
you
Cody,
have to love
it's a Cody
Juno.
Reitman.
Juno's fine. Juno's his best film.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
But you don't know what this could be. This could be another Juno or better.
I have heard things.
Okay. So let me tell the rest of you about it. So it's a film about a mother of 3, like I mentioned, similar to myself, only one more child. And it depicts, motherhood early on is kind of like, it's beautiful and sucky at the same time. You're like, oh, I love my children, but I'm also like pumping in the middle of the night and in bathroom stalls and in like weird places, and it kind of sucks a little bit. And you're tired, and like the monotony of like every day looks a little bit the same. And then the way that the trailers have depicted this movie are awesome in that it shows this, and it stars Charlize Theron as the mom, and she does such good transformative film. Mm-hmm. She has transformed into my body, apparently, for this film. And so she's married to Ron Livingston, who's in The Guy from Office Space, who I also love. He's the perfect, like schleppy man, husband, or whatever. Like, oh, great, frozen pizza again. Like, which is Rob. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, then it comes to like, all you see is it comes to this clip of like the door opens and a woman is standing there, and it says like, like, hello, and my name is Tully, or maybe she says her name, and she's like, I'm here to help you. And you don't know what that means. You don't know if it means that it means helping the mom, if it means helping the kids. You don't know what that means from the trailers, but all you want to know is what happens. And I think the trailer is awesome for that.
Yeah, it's got the Juno vibe to it. You're hit or miss on
the Juno vibe is not necessarily something that's going to send me ricocheting into the theater.
What other did Reitman and
they also
Cody
collaborated on Young Adult, which also had Charlize Theron
right.
in it, and she's excellent in it. So if nothing else, we should get a good Charlize performance.
It has Mackenzie Davis, who plays Tully, she's the prostitute from Blade Runner.
Oh yeah,
nice.
And I really like her. She's been in a couple Black Mirror episodes too. I really, 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 really like her. So I'm interested to see if she's going to become the nanny for the children or for the mom. Is like the implication. So that's why it made my number 3.
It seems like it's like a Mary Poppins, but for like a grown.
You don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm curious. I'm really interested. It was a contender.
Okay, so that made my number 3.
All right. So to my number 3, right?
Yes.
So my number 3 is a film called Lean on Pete. It is the 3rd film written and directed by Andrew Hay, whose other films are Weekend, which just showed up last week on our top sex scenes.
Spelled with a W-E-E-K.
Yes, not W-E-A-K.
Yeah.
Also, a couple years ago, the movie 45 Years, a very wonderful romantic drama about 2 aging Brits, one of whom is starting to like slightly lose his mind, and how that causes issues with his wife, who starts to realize, oh wait, all this time you loved another woman more than you ever loved me. I don't know what this film's about. I know that it's the 3rd film by Andrew Haigh.
That's all I need to know.
That's all I need to know. Movie comes out on the 30th of March. Got really, really good buzz on the festival circuit. Has a beautiful poster called Lean on Pete. The end.
Lean on Pete sounds really good. We'll trust you.
Sometimes it's just like, nope.
You just know.
This director has earned my trust.
Okay.
Fully.
Well, since both of you have taken, each of you have taken one of my movies, I'm actually on my number 4 because my number 3, Annihilation, number 2, Black Panther were taken. My number 5 was Game Night. So I'm actually on my number 4.
What is it?
Which comes out March 28th.
I keep thinking we're going to overlap.
I'm a video game person, as you know, and I love nostalgia.
Sure.
And, I feel like since The Post didn't do very well, I feel like Steven Spielberg is due. I feel like he's due.
Yeah.
For an action-adventure
Okay.
flick called Ready Player One. No?
Okay.
Nothing?
It's ironic because my Letterboxd review of The Post said I will never, ever doubt Steven Spielberg again. And then I look at the trailer for Ready Player One and I'm like, but can I doubt him just this one more time? And then I'll stop doubting him after this.
I feel the opposite. I feel like I'm ready. I was a little bit bored, maybe quite a bit bored with The Post, even though I found what I didn't actually realize.
But the phone scene.
The phone scene.
The phone scene.
Yeah.
We don't have any idea what I'm talking
where everybody
about.
gets on the phone at
We're
the same
on
time?
the phone.
At the same time.
And it's exciting. It's very tense.
More exciting than riding the DeLorean?
Frankly. Yes.
So this stars Ty Sheridan. When the creator of a virtual reality world called The Oasis dies, he releases a video in which he challenges all these users in this virtual reality world. We're all sucked in. We're all sucked into this virtual world. Reality doesn't mean anything. I mean, people are living in closets kind of stacked up high in these urban cities. No one has life, so everybody escapes into this what they call the Oasis, this virtual reality. So the creator of this, who's a billionaire, cajillionaire, says,
That's a lot of
"Hey,
money.
it's a lot. It's a lot." He places an Easter egg. You find this Easter egg, I'll give you my fortune, and you'll take control of this virtual reality. So Wade Watts, Ty Sheridan in this case, starts the race for this Easter egg. Tries to find this hidden thing to take over from the bad guys, which would probably be the corporate. It's like the corporate types versus the non-corporate,
like sponsored gamers versus plucky Korean 14-year-old type gamers.
From the trailer, you can see it's like, hey, how does this guy keep winning? He's not anybody, and he kind of forms this rebellion thing. I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm so bored
and you
from
failed,
listening
you
to
failed
this.
to mention that the main draw is the enormous cornucopia of 1980s pop cultural references that take place in the Oasis. You mentioned the DeLorean. The trailer shows just a whole bunch of different things that people of our generation grew up watching.
And aren't you going to be fun, looking at all the detail, trying to find oh yeah, there's Iron Giant. Oh,
here's my perhaps slightly judgy way of phrasing this. It seems anti-art.
Yeah,
to me,
critic would say that.
It seems like the literal opposite of what I want to do in a movie.
Right. Have fun. Yeah.
Awful. Exactly. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's like Where's Waldo?
You not see this trailer?
No, I'm so tired listening to this. I have no idea. What's the
Try
title?
listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready Player One.
So the bajillionaire cajillionaire.
Who?
Played by Mark Rylance.
Yeah.
Also played by the world's most unbelievably shitty wig.
That is true.
Thank you for conceding that.
Yes, I will give you that.
That's all I asked of you. I'm done.
I'm so bored. This doesn't sound
March
interesting
28th.
at all.
Ready Player One. Get excited, folks.
All right.
Number 4. That was my number 4.
Sounds like a number 12.
All I've got is my number 1.
Moving to number 2 for me.
2.
Number 2 might be on both of your lists because it's a little bit indie and might be a little bit weird. Is Love, Simon?
Nope.
I walked in on you watching this trailer and I was like, it's going to be Carrie's list.
I know.
What's weird about it? Nothing looks weird.
No, I just meant it was indie, so it was a little bit
is
weird.
it indie?
It probably feels a little indie.
It's
I don't
low
even
budget.
actually know what that means.
It's low budget.
Whenever I think low budget, I think of you guys. So it comes out on March 16th. It's directed by Greg Berlanti, written by Elizabeth Berger. Do you know these people?
Berlanti rings a bell. Berger does not. I also know it's based on a book by John... What's his fuck?
See, I thought it was John Green.
John Green, yeah.
I thought it was.
Based on
Is it? Because I was out
be.
if it was, and in if it wasn't, and I thought it wasn't.
It
And
is.
it made my honorable mentions, but if it's a John Green, he hasn't had the transition to film.
He has not earned
been
the
great.
benefit of my doubt.
Okay.
I really.
So
fucking
here's
dislike
where the
Fault in Our
benefit of your
Stars.
doubt can come in. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So it stars Nick Robinson, who's from Jurassic World. He's done some things, 16 things, even though he's really little. And Josh Duhamel's in this, which brings it down a notch for me a bit. It does, which sounds terrible.
I don't think he's not important.
So judgy.
though.
No,
not
he's a
like
dad.
major-
He's the dad.
Jesus Christ,
He's the dad.
now?
He's
What
the
in
dad.
fuck's name?
I
Oh
know.
my god.
I know. know. We're so old. I know.
Jesus,
I wanted to barf.
He was guy in movie about
he used to
pretty
be hot.
teen boy win a date.
No, he's old and a dad.
Good old Tad.
He was Tad.
No.
He was Tad.
I know. And it's got
Jesus.
Jennifer Garner as the mom. She's always the mom, actually. So I feel okay there. And then Catherine Langford was in this. She was the girl from 13 Reasons Why, which Rob and I were obsessed with, like creepy teenagers watching that when it came out. But anyway, so this is the story about Nick Robinson, and he is a regular high school guy, and he goes out and he's looking for love, but his name's Simon, but it's complicated for him because he's gay and he's like figuring this out while he's in high school. But the way that the trailer plays out for this is so that like you see that he's this loved friend, beloved family member, beloved everything. And it's this awkward movie about him figuring it out. So it's like, I see the lawn guy, and there's a clip about him being like, hey, like, love your boots, like across the street with the guy that's like blowing leaves. And the guy's like, what? And he's like, hey, boots, I love your boots. And the guy's like, I can't hear you. And like, I think if it becomes what I want it to become, where it's just this awkward high school teen figuring yourself out movie, it's going to be awesome. If it turns out into like douchey friends and parents, maybe not. But for what it looks like it's going to be, I think it's going to be super cute.
Had some good music in the trailer. I liked it.
I think it's promising for being like a cute little indie flick.
I was thinking about it, Tim. I was thinking about it.
I want to point out that my top 5 is not even made up of films that I'm looking forward to. So that's what I'll say.
This should have been on there, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that I saw the trailer for this one. Also,
it looks so cute.
Forever My Girl is like the feeder for all of the movies that are on your list. I just want you to know that.
No. So what is that? Are we to your number 2?
We're to my number 2?
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Which is my number 1.
I'll bet. So my number 2...
I agree. I think this will be my number 1.
...is a very exciting, to me, work of political satire.
Oh, yeah.
So far?
It's not my number 1, but yes, keep going.
Chattahoogian?
What?
Chattahoogian?
I don't know what you just said.
It's a movie.
Chappaquiddick?
Yeah.
Chappaquiddick. What did you say?
I don't know.
Chattahoogian? No. That's a political biopic. This is a film directed by Armando Iannucci, co-creator of the phenomenally fucking good British television series The Thick of It, which spun off the phenomenally fucking good movie In the Loop. This movie is a bit of a biopic, a bit of a costume drama. It's called The Death of Stalin. Doesn't have a rock solid release date yet. Spring is more or less confirmed. What I've heard is March 9th. Fingers crossed. This is a movie about the death of Stalin. And,
good titling.
And the power vortex that follows, and how all of the leaders of the Russian Communist Party jockey for a position in the like, oh my God, what is going to be the state of the Soviet Union now that Stalin's dead? But funny. And here's the thing. It combines my 2 favorite things, which are communist politics and Armando Iannucci. So like the only real question here is why was it not my number 1?
Right.
Because my other favorite thing is involved in my number 1. No, it looks hilarious as hell. If you're the kind of person who likes really morbid political satire, which
you obviously
I am.
do. Yeah.
I know you guys don't know this about me.
No,
I feel like we all
the comedy,
do.
the political satire with the comedy. Like I'm looking at the still images of this with the medals across their breasts. It looks pretty funny.
It looks hilarious and absurd and super pitch black. And it's a movie about like jockeying for authority in the Soviet Union. Like you couldn't come up with a logline that would get me more
What's
excited.
the vibe? Is it a Naked Gun type of comedy? Like
no.
What's the comedy?
The vibe here? It would help if you'd seen In the Loop, because it looks like a film from the director of In the Loop.
Okay.
Just very like brittle, bitter. Like the Naked Gun's absurd. This isn't going to be absurd. This is going to be much more like lacerating.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's going to be vicious. This is a vicious looking movie.
I could see you getting into this, Rob.
It's a satire. It's a satire of communist politics.
I saw the picture with the guy wearing all the medals across his chest.
So say the name again.
The Death of Stalin.
Not a great person.
Possibly
so that's
March
good.
9th.
Maybe a good death.
I think this is part of the joke.
It's like a better death. Yeah.
All I have left is my number one. So, Kara, I will let you go first because I'm also assuming that we're going to
So
line up.
I'm with my
I
number
think there's
one.
at least a chance we will have multiple
same?
people having the same number one.
All right, let's
Maybe
do it.
not all
Really?
three.
Okay,
Let's all
Rob and I
unite.
for sure will match up on this. I feel like it. So if we don't match up on this, I feel like this
No,
isn't
that's
working
game over.
out.
Yeah, let's call it quits.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense. Bearded
Okay.
one.
Did you say bearded woman?
No, bearded one.
Like I'm a bearded.
Going back to the callback reference of your bearded lover that you love so much that you think
He's
about.
in this movie.
That's right. I know you.
Really?
Yes.
I love this movie. Okay, let me tell you about the movie that I picked for my number one. It's coming out on April 6th. It's called A Quiet Place.
It indeed is my number
Do
one.
we line up?
It is not my number one.
Oh, we can continue this relationship. So it's directed by John Krasinski, who has the beard. And I think I've talked about this in previous episodes that I think that if we had met a long time ago, that we would have worked out.
When Carrie cheats on me emotionally, and she does often, she does it with John Krasinski in mind.
All right.
Yeah.
I do.
It's confirmed.
I think it's because I think that I am really similarly aligned to Pam. And I think
They're not together in real
No.
life? I don't
They're
wanna tell
not.
ya.
And also, I think even within the context of the show, we can argue whether that's a healthy relationship.
really, yeah, no, but it was so healthy in the. I think it was. Who do you think was less healthy?
Well, I think it's a show about unhealthy people, but we're not talking about The Office. We're talking about The Quiet Place.
Okay, so
Quiet
let me
Place.
talk about A Quiet
starring
Place.
his real wife, Emily Blunt.
Which
Really?
Yeah.
yes,
I didn't know they were married.
Oh yeah.
What?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
She is like 10,000 levels out of his league.
No, he's
All right.
10,000 levels out of her
Oh
league.
my God, no.
Oh my gosh,
This
yes,
is, no.
totally.
Talk about the movie.
Here's the thing: if this starred Pam and John Krasinski, this movie would be like 5.5 stars. But because it stars Emily Blunt, his real wife, and John Krasinski, it has Noah Jupe and Millicent Simmons is in this too. You guys may have seen the trailer for this. Super, super creepy. This family lives in this isolated place out in the middle of nowhere because they have to live in complete silence. This is a horror film for fear that the unknown threat will attack upon hearing any sounds. So it's like they've planned their whole life around, like, they play a game, they roll the dice, they roll it onto like a knit quilt, and like it has to be quiet because, again, with any sort of sound, this evil, terrible thing will attack. And it looks friggin' awesome.
It looks like what I wanted It Comes at Night to be.
It does.
That is precisely why I didn't put it on my list.
Yeah.
I'm getting It Comes at Night vibes, and I don't. It's either going to be phenomenal or it's going to just be so dumb.
But it has John
Like there's a
Krasinski.
lot. This is not a plus.
I have
Emily Blunt's a plus.
I have not seen his directorial debut with The Hollers,
I have not seen it either.
so I can't comment on his directing ability. But it looks, I mean, it
looks real
it's
good.
tense. The tension he builds with no dialogue, and I'm into those types of
And
movies.
silent, to have a silent movie where like
no, there's no such
so
thing as a
good.
silent movie.
It's so
But
no,
Carrie,
this
you
is
and I both
different.
liked Hush. Or
We did like Hush. Yeah, it was Hush.
Like, there's something about like living in like, the
Silence.
silence and letting
Quiet.
just the
There's a
the
documentary
soundtrack.
you should see. It's called Into Great Silence. It's 3 hours long and it's about monks.
Is it a horror movie?
It's a documentary about monks.
But where they like kill each other?
mean, Does sound horrifying.
They were praying.
Okay. Seems less exciting than A Quiet Place,
It's less
which comes out
exciting than
on April
watching
6th.
rice cook on your stove.
That's right.
audience members Sean Barker and Brendan Klein also had a quiet.
Oh,
place
it's
on
going
the
to
list.
be good.
Good
It's
call.
going
I
to be
hope it's going
real
to be good.
good.
I feel like the trailer doesn't tell me if it's going to be good or if it's going to have one good scene. Ultimately,
Tell me what your number one is then.
my number one. I'm disappointed.
Tell me
neither
about
one
your
of you had it.
1920s
I-
documentary.
It's not
Or
a 1920s.
1980s.
This is like a total mainstream normie pick. I feel like if I asked my 19-year-old and 20-year-old students,
Yeah.
what's the movie you're looking forward to? I feel some of them might even say this. That's how like
It's not overboard. Okay.
It's not overboard. This is Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs.
I haven't
Nothing-
confirmed if Carrie's a Wes Anderson person or not.
I don't think I am.
All right.
What
but
else has
not
he
even
done
from
again?
You, Rob.
I like Rushmore.
Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaum.
Oh, I hated all of those.
No.
I think they're too mean.
They are so mean. So, March 23rd, this is Wes Anderson's second stop-motion animated feature, which is the only thing I love more than Russian politics and satire. is animation.
Yeah.
And so it had to be my number one. Following, Fantastic Mr. Fox from 2009, which was, I thought, a phenomenal film, really rejuvenated Wes Anderson. His very, fussy dollhouse aesthetic is a perfect fit for stop motion animation. So this is a film about, in the future, Japan has had a dog problem. Dogs are running wild in the streets. There's so many dogs that a new breed of flu that only affects dogs basically starts to run rampant through the cities. So in order to keep this disease contained, all of the dogs in Japan are dumped onto a garbage island that now becomes the Isle of Dogs. And a human boy steals a jet, crash lands on the island looking for his dog Spots. And that's what we get from the trailer. I didn't even need that
dog Spot.
The dog's name is Spots.
Oh, okay. His
dog, comma, Spots.
Okay. I was picturing where they urinated. He was
I think that you are taking a bad faith approach to my plot synopsis.
Wait, Carrie, you saw Moonrise Kingdom.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You didn't end up saying that?
No.
Grand Budapest Hotel?
No, I don't think so. All of these sound terrible.
Darjeeling Limited.
I was going to get to
I'll
that
give
one.
it a shot. I have not seen
I don't think I will.
This was an easy pick. I had it at number one, and then the struggle was for filling the other four. No, to me, this looks wonderful. It has all of the things I want out of a Wes Anderson animated film, which is very fussy, minute little sets, beautiful center punched cinematography, amazing cast. I'm not even going through the cast. There's a dozen people in here who are all super exciting actors, and yeah, it just looks fun and weird.
How do you compare this type of animation to other mainstream animation?
It looks very rough and handicrafted. If you look at the trailer, it wears the fact that it was animated on its sleeves. You can see smudges. So it's these little dolls, basically, dog dolls being carefully manipulated. And they don't look real. These don't look like dogs. These look like little toys that are being made to move. But I think that's part of the charm of it. It has this fussy little handicraft.
Is it kind of like those movies that you liked that had the chickens?
Chicken Run?
Yeah. You liked those. Is it that kind of animation?
Run. Broadly speaking, yes.
Okay.
Although Aardman has a film coming out this spring, by the way, Early Man. Aardman's films have a generally smoother look, although Aardman does try to make sure that you can feel the handmade quality.
Yeah.
But this is even more so. This is downright crude, Isle of Dogs is.
Okay.
So check out the trailer.
So I will.
See what you think.
Well, let's see what the audience thought. Every week we ask you to share your picks and thoughts for a chance to win a free Amazon movie rental. Based on the results, here are your top 5 picks. Tied for number 5, we had Black Panther, a little unknown movie.
I'm just going to count my fingers.
Is this a documentary of the political movement in the 70s?
That's right. Can't remember if it was on anybody's lists or not. Also, we had Unsane, so on Tim's list as well.
Okay, count your fingers. You have one. I'm at 1.
Tied for number 4, we had Annihilation.
Oh, 1 for you. Oh, no, you're at 2.
Damn.
Fuck you.
Damn it.
Ready Player One.
Just copy
readership.
The whole list.
What
Copy
is
the whole
up?
thing. Rob just copies.
The Death of Stalin.
Oh.
One I did not even come. You were never really here.
Overboard.
You were never really here.
Okay.
No.
I didn't realize that was coming out, or I would have definitely had a different.
And
list.
I don't know if it's in our time frame too.
I don't know when it comes out.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
If that has a release date and it's set for spring, then pretend that was my number 1.
Okay.
It's the new Lynn Ramsey, and it was apparently the best film at Cannes 2017. And
Okay.
it looks fucking amazing.
well, let's hope that it's after April. And then last but not least, our number 1, Isle of Dogs. Tim knows. Tim's got.
I want to point out. Well, no, I would have the same number because if I'd known that You Were Never Really Here was out, I wouldn't have had Unsane. But
Here's my question.
I'm going to claim that as a moral victory.
How do we, what's our winning criteria for this episode?
I have no idea.
We'll figure that out. The
Okay.
winning criteria is that my films are going to be the best, so I'll win.
I don't feel that way, so I actually feel.
have game night.
That was Rob.
No, that's me.
You have
That
game night.
was Rob.
She has Overboard.
You have Overboard. Oh, that's right. You have the worst one.
Which makes me winning.
Damn it, what's wrong with you people?
Which makes me winning. So I want to know when I win, how I win, and then
We'll figure it out.
You win by the theater burning to the ground before you walk inside of it to see Overboard, saving you from the misery of realizing what a mistake you made.
And we'll find out. TBD.
And our lucky winner this week, Jeremy Carrier, who wrote in on the site, he had Ready Player One. Good call, Jeremy. He had Red Sparrow.
Ooh, I saw that.
Because he's down for Fincher-style R-rated spy thrillers.
I like the girl in that too.
Yeah, little Jennifer Lawrence. Number 3 had Annihilation. number 2 Black Panther, and number 1 Isle of Dogs. So he's like a combination
He's a hybrid.
of all of us.
Very good person, regular commenter. And also, I haven't officially publicly said this yet, but I just want to shout out. He tweets under. Oh damn! I can't remember what his actual Twitter handle is. Get off my lawn or something like that. Anyway, he on Twitter recommended the game Celeste, which is like the best game I've played in months. So thank you, Jeremy.
Well, there you go. Jeremy, shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free movie rental. If you want to win a free movie like Jeremy, be on the lookout for a spoiler alert or top 5 movie posts on Facebook and Twitter to share your favorite picks. In closing, thank you all for listening. Check us out on social media. We've been very active of late. Go out to our Facebook page and like it. Check out all the tweets from Jeremy. Was it off your lawn?
Get off my lawn
Off My
53.
Lawn 53.
His handle is Get Off My Lawn 53. His name is Beautiful JC.
There you go. Go to alternating.com. That's where you'll find all of our movie posts, podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. And don't forget our Patreon. We're going to be posting some exclusive videos there shortly. A little teaser for that. We'll let you know more about that in the future. Until then, what's coming out next? What are we doing next? I didn't
Next
prepare.
time, what are we doing next? Holy crap. Oh, next time, in honor of Annihilation. The second film by Alex Garland.
That's
we are
right.
going to, we're going to go a little bit more towards, I think, my side of the spectrum than yours. We're going to do our 5 favorite sophomore directorial efforts, second films by directors.
You had to be like 15 when you did it?
It had to be 15.
I was 12.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about 15.
The top 5
Sophomore directors.
second films made by a director.
Second film.
Yeah, good luck researching that. We're going to have some
Feel real
trouble.
good about
Harry, you're going to have
I
some trouble.
already have my list.
Damn you, Tim.
Damn me indeed.
We will catch you then.